Good morning, Dan and Amy. Well, the year 2019 brought us some good news on matters of life and death. The death rate from cancer in the United States declined by 29% between 1991 and 2017, including a 2.2% drop from 2016 to 2017, which is the largest single-year drop ever recorded. So in the last 3 decades, almost a drop in the death rate from cancer by a third.
Did they, attribute that to, preventative screenings
And also advanced
medicine?
Yeah, of course. In addition to that, the Guttmacher Institute reporting last fall, and this is a pro-abort organization, by the way, that the number of abortions in the United States in 2017, 862,000, still tragic, but it is the lowest level of abortions performed since the procedure became legal in 1973. Abortions at historic lows, and that is good news against the backdrop of the March for Life, which this is the season for it. And in Chicago, it will occur this Saturday, January 11th. MarchForLifeChicago.org is where you can get tickets and details. New and expanded events punctuate the day's event, the day's festivities, including a convention, youth rally, the March for Life rally at Daley Plaza with abortion survivor Claire Culwell, Chicago Bears Pat McCaskey, as well as Cardinal Supich, followed by a dinner banquet and swing dancing into the night. And I know you like to swing dance.
Oh, yes.
I used to.
You used to swing dance, I bet.
Back in the day when Big Swing was the house band at Green Mill. I'd kick it up.
That was your jam?
I'd cut a rug.
Yeah.
But it's passé for me now, plus I'm too old and fragile. For more on Saturday's March for Life Chicago, we're pleased to be joined by Dawn Fitzpatrick, who's the board president for the organization. Dawn, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Good morning, Dan and Amy. How are you guys today?
Good morning. So some good news, relatively speaking, nationally. The news in Chicago and Illinois about respect for life, though, not quite as good, to say the least, in 2019 with Governor Pritzker and pro-abortion politicians in charge of this state, a move to essentially legalize and normalize infanticide, in addition to the prospects of the largest abortion mill in the country to be constructed in Illinois.
Well, certainly, what's happened in Illinois is shameful at best and certainly tragic. So we continue to host the March for Life Chicago in hopes of showing our legislators, showing our leaders in the community, showing our religious leaders, showing the world and the country certainly that we still believe in life here in Illinois and in the Midwest. This is now the March of the Midwest. We have folks coming out from all the surrounding states, and we have actually moved our march to a Saturday to Daley Plaza to accommodate all of the people who are going to come from everywhere, because we just know they are.
And thinking about some positives in Chicago and Illinois, you have a number of pro-life organizations people should be familiar with, not just on the advocacy side and the organizational side, but also on the provision of services to women and children and families side. I'm part of one, Aid for Women, which is a Catholic organization. There's Waterleaf. There's so many. They're the Caring Network, pro-life centers or care centers. There's so many organizations in Illinois that are still doing the work of serving women and children and promoting the idea of respecting life from conception to natural death.
Well, and the organizations you're talking about offer those wraparound services that are so important to women and babies and families to make sure that they know they're supported and to empower them to choose life for their children. Certainly, we have multitudes of times more organizations that truly help women, and we do it just with donor donations to run those organizations. Unlike Planned Parenthood, who gets so many millions of dollars from the federal government to kill our children, unfortunately, all of these beautiful organizations are supporting the March for Life Chicago. As a matter of fact, on the board of directors and on the planning committee include, groups like Aid for Women, the Women's Center of Greater Chicagoland, Southside Pregnancy Center. They're all helping to plan this event. So we work together. It started, the March for Life Chicago started as a coalition of pro-life organizations, and we are now a 501c3 organization run by a board of directors, and we meet together all year long to make sure that this event goes off smoothly and beautifully, and that we can accommodate all of the people who are concerned about the sanctity of life that'll come enjoy together to stand in solidarity for the true empowerment of women and for the beauty of the child in the womb, and just to reinstate families. That's really what we're all about.
And what Illinois lawmakers are trying to, stop taxpayer-funded abortions?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Oh, I said what lawmakers in Illinois are trying to stop taxpayer-funded abortions?
Well, certainly any of the pro-life lawmakers are working to do that. We have, Peter Breen is someone who's worked very closely with us to do that. He also works with the Thomas More Society, who is certainly an organization that sponsors the March for Life and provides us with legal work and things like that. He's worked very hard. He's running for office this year, but there's others who have stood up at Springfield and worked hard to bring the proper laws and to fight against the taxpayer-funded abortion. And then we do have two congressmen who are going to be speaking at our rally, both Congressman LaHood and Congressman Lipinski from the U.S. Congress, who fight against regularly and daily, much to their opponents' dismay, against taxpayer-funded abortion.
Now, they may not have given us a lot of Super Bowl champions, but the McCaskey family, the owner of the Chicago Bears, starting with the matriarch, Virginia, have been dedicated to the pro-life cause for forever. And it's just noteworthy to point out Chicago Bears Pat McCaskey will be there, and the support the McCaskey family has given to women and families.
Yes, they've been phenomenal. Pat comes out and speaks for us every year. Virginia has not only is she the matriarch of the Bears, but she was a good friend to the Archdiocese of Chicago and to the cause of life her whole life. She's constantly standing up for life. Just a wonderful family, the McCaskeys.
And in addition to that, you note that there's an abortion survivor, Claire Culwell, who will be speaking. Yes. Give us a snippet of her story that people can expect to hear if they attend.
Claire has the most incredible story. I think recently someone in Congress said that people don't survive abortions, so why should we worry about abortion survivors in our legal system?
Oh, that's
she
nice.
is, yes, living proof that people do survive abortion. She survived a dismemberment abortion that happened when her mother was 20 weeks pregnant, and her twin was aborted. Her mother was a 13-year-old girl who was forced to have an abortion, and they didn't realize she was pregnant with twins. So by God's grace, Claire survived, and by the time that they realized there was a second baby, it was too late to have a second abortion. Claire, by the grace of God, and certainly we can see the hand of God, because she's such an incredible speaker and someone who just empowers everything we're fighting for, or embodies everything we're fighting for. She is going to tell us a little bit about her story, what it was like to meet her birth mother, and you can just see that she's doing so much to support life and to stand up for the sanctity of life. Now, we'll hear a little bit about it at the march, but she's also a keynote speaker at our banquet that evening. So if anybody really wants to get to know Claire, they can come to the banquet and hear a lot more about her. She's just incredible.
That story is reminiscent of Gianna Jessen, who also, became an international speaker because of what she experienced, surviving an attempted abortion. And so, those things are real, despite what some of the pro-abort politicians say. Speaking of which, Cardinal Supich is going to be there. That's good. He's been solid on the life issue.
He definitely has.
I hope people continue to encourage him to be as forceful on the issue as, say, Bishop Peprocki down in Springfield has been.
Well, yes, and I have to say, last year, with all of the heinous laws that went into effect. Cardinal Stupich and all of the bishops of Illinois were solid. They got together. They went down to Springfield. They had a press conference. We also, as One Catholic Conference of Illinois, worked hard to fight that legislation. I've never seen so many people come out for life as did in the last year. It was very hopeful. We definitely mobilized the networks, and people in the churches, got together and really organized to do letter writing campaigns to call their representatives to show up in Springfield. We had thousands and thousands of people go to Springfield last year, just to the point where they even had to close the rotunda at one point because there were so many people in there in March. And we also went in April as an archdiocese and the Diocese of Joliet together, and we probably had another 1,000 people there that day. And Bishop Conley went with us. The bishops have been phenomenal, and so have the people. So what I think we saw as a result was the people are pro-life, the people are angry, the people are motivated, and the legislators don't care. So
that could be used to describe a lot of topics in this state, unfortunately. But I think that's right. Just wanting to note that this is going to be a nice day on Saturday. It looks like. I mean, for all things considered, in January, so it's a good day to rally. I've been out there before, going back to when it was Cardinal George heading the Arch, and it's a great event. People should get more information, get tickets to support the coming together of all these pro-life organizations. MarchForLifeChicago.org for tickets and details. Remember, convention, youth rally, March for Life rally at Daly Plaza. Featured speakers including Claire Caldwell, an abortion survivor, Chicago Bears' Pat McCaskey, Cardinal Supich, dinner banquet, swing dancing into the night. MarchForLifeChicago.org is where you get all the information and purchase tickets. Dawn Fitzpatrick, board president for March for Life Chicago, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, and we look forward to seeing everybody on Saturday. Rain, shine, snow, we'll all be there.
All right. Thank you so much. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
I love the products. I haven't had a cold since I've started. My great